Fitbit has a brand new wearable on the market called the Versa. Is it a smartwatch? Is it for fitness? Who should buy it? And does it work with Windows 10? All that and more in my full review. Stay tuned. So here it is, the Fitbit Versa. Let's give a quick tour of the device. As you can see, it's very thin. It's also very light, coming in around 30 grams. Now compared to an Apple Watch, it's about the third of the weight of an Apple Watch. And let me tell you, that makes a huge difference when you're wearing this every day, especially if you go to the gym. Coming around to the side here, you can see you have the main power button, and you have two other buttons on the side. This is a familiar design for Fitbit. They've been using it on their last few devices. And you have a really nice display here. Specifically, it's 300 by 300, and that's actually a square resolution, and it's the first time they're actually using that. When we compare it to the Fitbit Ionic, which came out last year, that's actually a 348 by 250 resolution, so it's more rectangle as opposed to square. That also means you get more pixel density here on the Versa, and it totally shows when you're using it. The display is very good and gets very bright. Now, this device also does all sorts of cool things. For instance, it has a heart rate meter on there to give you all-day measurement on your heart, 24/7, including sleep data. And you have the charger on the back here, and we'll show that in a few minutes as well. And there are plenty of third-party bands available for Fitbit. It's one of the big things I like about this system is that they have a large ecosystem and do a lot of work with different partners. Having said that, I'm not a huge fan of this mechanism now for changing the bands. It works, it's a little pin, and it pops right in there, and you can hear it kind of clicks, and you're good to go. Not too bad. It literally takes maybe a minute or two to change, but it's a little bit finicky, especially when you compare it to the Ionic, which has a simple button release and just clicks back in. Way easier. I wish they'd kept that along with the Versa, but they didn't. So I want to talk a little bit about Lineage here before I go into deeper features regarding this device. The Versa, some people have thought of it as more of a sequel to the Ionic, which came out last year. You can go read my full review of that at Windows Central. But instead, it's more a sequel to the Blaze, which I've also used extensively for a long time. Instead, the Ionic is more related to the Surge, and so that came out a number of years ago as well. The main dividing line here, this has standalone GPS. These do not. These are what's called connected GPS, so they rely on your phone to figure out where they are. Does that matter for you? Well, it really depends. Do you run outside or not? I never do, folks. I just don't run a lot at all. I do use this, though, for bike riding. In that case, I always have my phone with me, and these devices are very good for that. So what can you do with the Versa? Well, it is kind of a smartwatch, or at least has some smartwatch-like features. First of all, the main feature is going to be exercise. So you do have the ability to store up to 7 different exercises that you use frequently, and it's just quick access. Tap on it and you can go. You can see now it's trying to connect to my phone for the GPS. If, however, you don't want to use GPS, you can actually turn that off in the settings for that specific exercise. Other features include repeating alarms, music, weather, and you can install a lot of different apps too, including Pandora. You have a wallet, Deezer, Starbucks, Yelp, and others. Now, when it comes to music, it's really interesting. You can actually put up to around 300 songs stored on the device. Now, installing music on this is a little clunky. I felt like I was installing music on a pre-iPod day, so you gotta do it through a PC. It'll take around 30 to 40 minutes to install all your music, but it's not a bad experience. Once it's on there, you can stream to your favorite Bluetooth headset while in the gym for a totally hands-free experience, and it's a very liberating one as well. If, however, you don't want to use your own local music, you can also do Pandora so long as you subscribe to their program. And you can download the last 3 or 4 channels that you subscribe to, or you can pick specific ones that you want to add to the device and then just stream music using that. And new to Fitbit OS 2.0 is support for Deezer, which if you're in the United States, you probably never heard of, but they're very big in Europe. You can think of them as another Spotify-like service. A lot of people like using them. You do need a subscription, of course, to use it here, but it's nice to have options. Still no support for Spotify on this device yet, but perhaps that'll come later on. When it comes to charging the Versa, you do get this really nice stand that's included in the box. It is USB, and Fitbit always changes the connectors on how they use these devices. It's a little bit annoying if you collect all of them like I do, but this is actually one of the best stands I've seen from them. First of all, it's an actual stand. If you've seen the Ionic, it's just a plug that basically connects to the back of it. It's magnetic. It's not a very good experience. This instead, you squeeze the bottom, it opens up, and you drop in the device, and now it starts charging. Really nice permanent stand. It even has a little bit of a bottom here, so it doesn't slide around too much. So one of the reasons I'm such a fan of Fitbit is they've been a big supporter of Windows 10. In fact, they've been there since day one. This is the Windows 10 app, and it also runs on Windows 10 Mobile, HoloLens, and including Xbox as well. And it allows you to sync up everything to the device through Bluetooth on your PC. It's a very convenient experience. Now, of course, you can do this on Android and iOS as well, but it's nice to be able to sync across all those devices and be able to check in on your stats whenever you want to. As you can see here, I have my full footsteps, I have my resting heart rate, my weight, how did I sleep, and all that other information. Very good. You can even track things with your friends, and that's really the big selling point here with Fitbit is all your friends are probably on it as well. It connects up through Facebook and pulls in their data, and you can do fun things like challenges. Okay, time for some real talk. So I've been using the Versa now for about the last week. I've used the Ionic since last summertime and every other Fitbit since 2012. I really like this Versa. First of all, it's very comfortable to wear. It's very light. It's one of the lightest devices they have made so far. And it's just a really nice looking device too. I've had more people excited about the looks of this device and interested in buying it than say the Ionic, which was very divisive. A lot of people just absolutely hate the way it looks. That's totally fine, but this is a really good one. Now, when it comes to battery life, it's not as good as the Ionic. The Ionic's gonna get you around 5 days. This is more around 3. I should put that a little bit into perspective too. It also depends on how much you're working out. So if you're gonna be working out every day, that'll be a little bit less. And if you're also gonna be streaming music from it, it can be a little bit rough. For instance, a 2-hour workout while streaming music the entire time will knock about 25% of battery life off. Overnight, just by sleeping, you're gonna take around 5% as well. So you can do the math there. It depends on how much you're gonna be using this. Still, I'm very happy with it. It charges very quickly too. So overall, for what it does, it gets very good battery life. Don't forget, the Apple Watch only gets a day and a half on the new one, and that's not nearly as good. In fact, it doesn't do any sleep recognition either. And that for me is a selling point here for the Versa. The sleep data is absolutely incredible. And I say that as someone who used to do sleep science and sleep studies in New York City. It also does very good heart rate stuff. Again, compared to the Ionic, the heart rate here seems to update a little bit more quickly than the Ionic does. And due to its size and being smaller, it hugs the wrist better, it gets better data. The Ionic sometimes would lose contact with me and I would have some issues. I don't have that as much here. So the next question you may have is this a smartwatch? I get Fitbit is calling it that, and there's some truth to it. It's more smartwatch than, say, the Blaze was last year. There's a lot of good stuff here. There's Deezer, there's Yelp, and they work okay. But if you're buying this because you want a smartwatch first and fitness is just not really a thing for you, you probably should get something else, including Android Wear or maybe an Apple Watch if that's your thing. If, however, fitness is your first priority or you're looking to get into shape and start something new, I suggest definitely getting this device. Now, I'm not a huge smartwatch person. This does do notifications, especially on Android. They come in and you can do it for all sorts of apps. In fact, you can go through your entire list and pick what app you want to have notifications from, and they worked very well. Later this spring, there will be an update that allows Android users to respond to notifications, which up to now has been missing from the platform. And that's pretty exciting as well. But I wouldn't buy it just for that. Those are cool little bonuses for me, and it's nice to have. If you really want that stuff though, you probably want to get something different, as this is more smartwatch second. Having said that, I really do like the fact that they bought Pebble a few years ago. That community is now coming over, and there are so many cool watch design faces you can now download for this device and the Ionic that make it worth it for me. In fact, I'm still shocked on the Apple Watch. There's so few faces that are out there compared to what's available here. And you'll spend a lot of time toying around and figuring out what you want to use, and that's a cool feature to have. So another thing I want to talk about is the special edition of the Versa, which costs an extra $30 and has NFC tap to pay and a special nylon band. Is it worth it? Well, that's going to depend on whether or not you have tap to pay systems around you. Believe it or not, I don't. I live in Massachusetts, outside of Boston. I've never seen one of these systems around. In fact, the 6 months in using the Ionic, I never used tap to pay once. Not to mention, there's only some banks that work with Fitbit Pay, which is their system. Bank of America does, that's what I use, and I suppose it works. Now, I will say this nylon band, though, is super cool. I love the color of it, I love the design of it. It works well even at the gym. It's very breathable, it's very comfortable to use and very light. And more importantly, you can't buy this band separately. In that regard, yeah, I would get this version because I kind of really like the design of it. And you also get the regular band with it too. So for an extra $30, probably worth it. Okay, let's run down the list here. I'm very excited about the Fitbit Versa. I think it's an excellent purchase. For $200, you're getting a lot of device here. First of all, you're going to get very good battery life. You're going to get very good heart rate data. You're going to get sleep analysis, and you're going to get exercise things, and you also get a little bit of smartwatch features, which I wouldn't buy this for a smartwatch, but it's cool to have. It's also just a fun device to use and won't be cumbersome at all in your lifestyle. There's also the fact it works with Windows 10 Mobile, Windows 10, iOS, and Android, so no matter what device you switch to in the future, this will work with it. So the bottom line is this: if you're into technology and you want a cool wearable and you want to get into fitness, I think the Fitbit Versa is the best choice on the market today. So there's a quick look at the Fitbit Versa. Now, I have a ton to say on this device, so if you want more information on it or you want more videos on it, let me know in comments below. You can also go to Windows Central to read my full review. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Take care, everybody.